Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daniels Known, Google Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. This is Dylan Miller on Daniels Known. Alright, so, okay. Got some good stuff today. A lot of NFL. The only non-NFL thing I'm talking about is has to do with Donovan Mitchell going somewhere. Basically, Donovan Mitchell trade drama. And alright. Here we go. So, Jerry Jones says it looks like Tyler Smith will start week 1 at left tackle in place of Tyron Smith, who has injury problems like no other. I just don't get why Jerry Jones seems so all in on a guy who continues to regress every year in Ezekiel Elliott. Why is Jerry Jones so confident in an offense running through him? And I think everyone except for Jerry Jones knows how badly Elliott is declining right now. And I think he just doesn't want to be wrong on him, so he's just going to keep pushing the narrative that he's getting better, even though he isn't. I think he paid Elliott too much, and I said this when they paid Dak. They have too many players. A lot of them are top 5 in their position, salary-wise. And I'm fine with paying Dak. I think Dak is a great quarterback, but why did they pay Elliott so much? He literally hasn't had a productive year since 2016 to 17. The Cowboys live in the past too much, I feel like. It's been 27 years since they won a conference championship. Maybe consider changing directions, after 27 years. And the crazy thing is, I feel like Jerry Jones would have to be getting desperate right now and be trying to make all the moves possible to get an easy ring, because he's almost 80, Jerry Jones. He's 79 years old. He's turning 80 in October. If I were him, I'd be making a lot of moves to make sure Dallas does not fall off a cliff with him being there. But he really hasn't done anything special since Jimmy Johnson left. He won 1 Super Bowl. Okay. First of all, I think he can start by starting Tony Pollard instead of Ezekiel Elliott. Shut down all these comments that offense runs through Zeke. If the offense runs through Zeke, you can kiss your playoff chances goodbye, and I already have. Because I don't think you guys are beating out the Eagles for the division. And you can. You just don't know the way to, and you don't want to admit that there is. You'd have to make roster changes in order to do it. He's not adapting, and that's what you have to do, especially this late in your career. I think paying Dak is fine. I think it's a lot of money, but I think it's fine. But not with how much he paid Elliott. You already gave Elliott all that money, and then you're just going to throw all the money you have at Dak. That's not a good idea. I just feel, Elliott's regressing. Jerry Jones is almost 80. He should be getting desperate. He should be, he has to be getting desperate. He should be, making moves within the roster. And like I said, my first move would be starting Pollard over Zeke. And that's another thing I think everyone knows except for Jerry Jones. Tony Pollard is a better running back than Zeke is. But you know what? It's not my team, so not too worried about it. They open with the Bucks, and honestly, the Bucks, as you know, I'm not as high on as I was at the beginning of the year because their O-line is beat up. You know what? Bruce Arians said he's not worried about Tom. Yeah, of course he would say he can't say anything bad about it. Like, it's like when Tua is getting all the praise. I mean, I think Tua is going to be good this year. But of course Tyreek Hill is going to say good things about him. He's not going to say, he's not as good as Mahomes, you know. Why would any teammate do that? It's common sense to compliment your players. But I don't know, Tom just seems off to me. It's just every time I've bet against him, it has went sideways. 2017 Super Bowl? The only time it worked was in the 2018 Super Bowl against the Eagles. But 2019 Super Bowl, he won. 2021, he destroyed the Chiefs. He always proves me wrong. So it's hard for me to bet against him. He looks miserable and tired. And some people have been anticipating this decline for a while. And the crazy thing is he hasn't even declined yet. It just seems that way right now. With all the hints he's pretty much been giving us the past few months. Like, retiring, unretiring, taking an 11-day absence. Coming back looking tired and miserable. You know, it just seems this is a declining year. I am not going to make any bets. I am not going to bet on that because every time I bet on Tom Brady, I get proven wrong pretty quickly. So, not saying anything. I'm keeping my mouth shut on that. Alright. And by the way, their O-line injuries are going to have a bad effect on the team, especially when you don't have a mobile quarterback. Like, Brady is a pocket passer. If he doesn't have time in that pocket, it's not going to be too good. Alright. So, John Gruden spoke yesterday. He obviously apologized for his comments and pretty much said he hopes he can coach again. And I mean, he's owning his mistakes, which is always the first step. It's just hard to sense the sincerity in apologies. You know, it's just, but like once the emails are out there, that's what we're gonna see him as. That's what he's seen as publicly. What those emails said. That a lot of people see that as his defining trait. You know, I don't believe in cancel culture or any of that, but there's gonna obviously be an effect when you send out emails like that and they get put out into the public. You know, it's... And I mean, it's up to other teams if they want to give him a second chance. I mean, if Kareem Hunt got a second chance after what he did, I'm sure John Gruden can. But they're just going to have to deal with the public perception and the backlash of, him. It's just not very good. The way the public sees him. But you know what? It was the Browns who had to come forward and say everyone deserves a second chance. And, obviously there were a few people that were angry about it, and it's very reasonable because there are people that don't have the talent Kareem Hunt does, and in their jobs, if they were caught doing something like that, they'd be fired, and they'd have a tough time getting into your job. But Kareem Hunt, just a year after being caught, was right back in the NFL, But, it's up to other teams. What they want to do with it. He's not going to be a Raider again. If a team wants to come forward, give him a second chance, they can go ahead. I'm not going to bash them for it. Alright. So, I was kind of fawning over Kenny Pickett the entire preseason, but there is another quarterback that stuck out to me is Skylar Thompson. And I mean, to be fair, I don't talk about him as much because he doesn't really have a chance at starting. Kenny Pickett has a chance at starting. And it's pretty much a quarterback competition. Like with Skylar Thompson, we know Tua is going to be the starter. He doesn't have a chance. And I think he's right now I think he's the third string. Like, I don't think he's even beating out the second string quarterback. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater is the second string, So Skylar Thompson is, the third quarterback. But he outplayed Bridgewater in the preseason. He was 36 for 48. He had a passer rating of over 100 in all three games. 106, 152, 142. He had 5 touchdowns with no picks. He had a pretty damn good performance. And it doesn't hurt that he put up 450 yards too. It was an impressive preseason for him. He was great, and it's kind of a rough time to be in his position right now, though, because Tua's a young quarterback, and if he succeeds this year, he will be the future. And Teddy Bridgewater is just a backup. He's an older, veteran backup. So he doesn't have to worry about anything. I mean, actually, Bridgewater's younger than you think, but he is... the injury he had in 2017 kind of really affected his career. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires a little younger. Like, he's actually 29 right now. A lot younger than you expect. But, yeah, the injury he had in 2017 really screwed up with his career. But yeah, I think he's just adjusted to what he can do. He's a backup quarterback. If a team needs him, he's a very reliable backup. And Tua, but the problem with Skylar Thompson is he could be a valuable starter. There's value in starting him on, certain teams. And I think he's older than Tua, Skylar Thompson. Like, he has a lot of experience. In this league. Or not in this league, but he had a lot of experience in college, I believe. Skylar Thompson. But, yeah, he went to Kansas State. Yeah.